Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Good.
I have things to tell you.
Oh, big things?
Oh, yeah, the biggest.
Okay.
The biggest. I texted you, Wednesday? We went into a random bar just to get a drink, see what it's like. It had outdoor seating, so I'm like, this might be a cute place to go in the summer. La da da. Get in there. No shit. They're about to start karaoke. Everyone in the bar is well over 65. And people started coming in dressed to the nines in sparkly outfits, shiny high-heeled boots, like men in cowboy shirts. They were revved up. So they came in and they were playing all kinds of postmodern jukebox stuff. So like old person gets up there and sings. So I'm like, what? How do you even know about this? Anyway, I met a gal there named Jeanette, and she was there just to sing some karaoke. And from there, she says, I go up the street on Wednesdays because there's a live band karaoke. Oh, how fun is that?
That is fun.
Wendy, we're going.
Yeah, we got to go to that. I wish the listeners could see how big my smile is when you were telling me that story. Because my face hurts a little. That sounds amazing.
They have it twice a week.
Okay.
The little bar. And I wish I could remember what it was called, but it was so shocking to me because it was super dinky.
Yeah.
Pool table, like, took up the most room in the whole place. And yet they serve food.
Okay.
Like prime rib. Whoa. And the special that night was cavatelli. I mean, there were salads, there was bread, it was Italian.
Yeah.
Angled, but I was so surprised at the real food.
Yeah.
Being there. Especially prime rib. That's crazy cakes.
Yeah.
I don't eat meat, but I can just imagine it's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna say that.
I've had a prime rib or two in my day.
Don't you love just going into random bars?
I do.
And just, like, even if they're grungy, it's so fun. I like to sit at the bar and talk to the bartenders. They probably see me coming and go, oh, God. Billy ordered an old fashioned.
Yeah.
And she didn't. She had to go look it up. It's fine. But I kept, like, elbowing him, going, just order a beer. Like, don't make it a whole thing.
Yeah.
Just, when in Rome, don't order an old fashioned.
Yeah, that's a drink that you gotta know how to make. Otherwise, it can go bad real quick. Like when they at my bachelor party.
Oh God, yes.
I thought they said full bar and it was like an event center, so I thought they would know. And they didn't have simple syrup, so he was literally emptying sugar packets.
Yes.
And it was terrible. Oh man.
Oh my God.
So yeah.
It was
that was my
terrible.
fault. I should have, a brunch. You shouldn't be ordering a
Well,
old
and it
fashioned.
had a whole lot of fruit in it.
Yeah.
But when I was in Wisconsin, that's how they do it.
Yeah.
I was like, why is there fruit in this?
They also, Wisconsin, it makes a lot of brandy old fashions, which make them a little sweeter.
Sure. I don't
That's my
hate
mom's
brandy.
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that sounds nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't, when I picked up your, what is it, firecracker?
Firecracker.
I was surprised that it wasn't a coffee.
Yeah.
And the guy asked me, caffeinated or not, or a fizz. And I was like, and I must have just looked like a deer in the headlights. And I said, oh, okay, caffeinated.
Yeah.
And then I was like, I'm so sorry because I expected that it was going to be a coffee. So.
Yeah. I wasn't really sure either because, it said it came in a latte or a breve. So I thought it was a coffee too.
Oh.
But it's good. It's what? Cherry syrup?
Is it? And cayenne?
And yeah, cayenne pepper and cinnamon.
Huh.
It's supposed to be kind of spicy.
Well, I didn't know you wanted a coffee. I thought you were really switching her up.
Maybe I read it wrong.
Maybe I asked for it wrong.
Either way, it's caffeinated. It's yummy.
And it's a pretty color.
It is.
Kind of orangey.
I'm not mad about it.
I'm not mad.
No, it's good to not just drink a cup of milk.
I know. Well, today I got cold brew.
Oh, okay.
With cream.
Yeah.
But I've literally never had it before. I know I'm like 10 years past the trend.
Does it have more coffee flavor than the espresso drinks?
Yes.
Okay.
It tastes like a very smooth cup of coffee with cream.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Cold brew is less acidic.
Yeah.
Because of the process of making it or whatever.
Yeah.
The cold water doesn't make as much acid. So.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
It's good. It's good. I could have got a flavor in it.
Science. This is
Weird science.
Was that a show or a movie?
Movie.
Okay.
And maybe a show. Seems like something they would have made into a cable show.
Yeah.
No, Weird Science. If you haven't seen that movie, we have to.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's one of the things that people always go, you haven't seen that movie? No. I haven't seen that movie. I don't think.
Billy wrote a song about that movie.
Yeah.
Called Lisa.
Oh, okay.
And it's awesome. I mean, the song is great.
Yeah.
And then when you tie it to, it's about the girl that they make.
Okay.
They create.
Yeah.
With, underwear on their heads and a Barbie doll. And you got to see it.
Okay.
You got to see it. But this week's movie, what did you think?
Whew.
Okay,
right.
That's it. That's what I expected.
Yeah. This Dream Scenario is the film that we watched, and we decided that it needed an entire episode.
Yeah.
Because there's just so much happening. I will start. Joel watched it with me, and he hated this movie so much. At the end, he was like, "Oh my god, that is so stupid! They never tell you, explain what was going on."
Many people on the internet hated the ending.
Yeah,
it wasn't a strong finish.
No. And my overall opinion is I think it had a real slow start, and I was like, "Is something ever going to happen?" But then once it started getting weird, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
Where do we want to start with the explanation?
Well, so the movie basically starts out with Nicolas Cage's daughter having a dream that he's there, but he's not helping. Yeah. And she's in danger, and she's calling for him, but he doesn't react. And there is this phenomena which there's no rhyme or reason, but people all over the world, I guess, are having the same sort of dreams
about Nicolas Cage. And he's just standing there in their dreams and not helping them in situations.
So definitely makes you think about things that go viral.
Yes.
There's that aspect. But beyond how, I don't even know where to start with it, because Nicolas Cage's character, when I told you we had to watch this, it's because I said, this movie kind of makes me think he can actually act.
Yeah.
It made me think like he knows this person, or he is sort of mirroring someone that he knows. Like, there was a lot of what I would call mouth breathing.
Oh, yes.
Oh, thanks. Yeah.
I wrote, why is his mouth so weird in this?
His mouth is open all the time.
Yeah, and he's got what I think are fake teeth that are kind of icky.
I wasn't even sure if his nose was real.
Oh yeah, he may have had something going on there, because he looked a lot different.
The way that he looked, huge for one thing, but he had no presence.
Yeah.
It was like almost every scene he had that giant parka on, and that made him look even bigger.
Yeah.
But still just schlumpy.
Yeah, he's bald.
Yeah.
He's got a beard that's not very kept.
Yeah.
He looks like a schleppy college professor. He looks exactly like that. Like what you would think of it. And he's definitely insecure. That's at the core of it, because he feels like he hasn't accomplished what he wanted. So he starts from that vulnerable place of being insecure. And then when this phenomenon starts happening of him showing up in people's dreams, he eats it up.
Yeah, he
Someone's
does.
paying attention to me.
He does. And his wife, she knows him.
Yeah.
And she accepts him and loves him the way he is. And she's like, hey, don't suck it up so much.
Yeah.
Because there are always consequences.
Yes, pause before you lean into this, which he does not do at all.
But he was coming from a place of, like you were saying, like, he's kind of a failure.
Yeah.
And he knows it, which is why he keeps going on and on about this non-existent book. Like, much of the movie is him wanting to find a publisher.
Yeah.
But he hasn't put any words on the paper.
Right.
And he's angry with his colleague for basically doing it before he did.
Yeah.
Well, too fucking bad. That's just it. If he would have knuckled down and, kind of gone after his dreams.
Yeah.
Action in his own dreams. He could have.
Yeah.
But he knows he's a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't make the connection of like him going after his own dreams and this being about dreams.
Yeah, I didn't either until I just said it.
That's another arc of it, I guess.
There's that whole inaction. But then when he starts action, he's basically humiliated by Xanthopy from Kimmy Schmidt.
Yeah. I noticed that too.
I like her a lot. And, she's one that has had one of the sex dreams.
Yes.
With that whole thing with the company that she works for, and they're trying to capitalize on his overnight fame. Yeah, thoughts.
I think that was such a perfect name for the ad agency.
Cera, yeah, he was great.
Yeah.
But so she takes him out for a drink. Ulterior motives, because she's been having sex dreams about him, which she then wants him to recreate.
Right.
Which, just going in, you're just like shaking your head going, dude, you've got a wife who loves you. And this is warped. And do you think that he intended to go through with anything there?
Yeah. I think, or he at least was like on the fence, because
I think you're okay. I think you're right. That's that attention.
Yeah, you don't go over to someone's house after, they tell you that they had a sex dream about you and all that. Like, he knew what he was going up there for. And can I say that scene?
Yeah.
I laughed so hard at that scene.
I was more like, so what you're referring to is she goes to unbuckle his belt.
Yes.
That's all she did was unbuckle his belt, and he came in his pants with a very weird grunt. And she's like, oh my God, complete mortification. Obviously he's like beyond embarrassed.
Well, it's not just that. He farts.
Oh, yeah. Did he fart twice?
He farts twice.
Yeah.
So he sits down and they start like fooling around. And the moment she goes for his belt, he farts.
Uh-huh.
And then he goes, oh, it's healthy.
Like, it's okay.
Well, I am such a child. Farts are really, really funny.
Farts are always funny.
And then when she actually gets the belt undone, he comes in his pants and then he farts.
Oh, God.
And that, I died. I was crying, laughing.
And he storms out.
Yeah.
And the next scene, basically he's berating himself back in his hotel room, right? But it's silent. The way they filmed it, silent. But you can see he's screaming. You can read his lips. He's like, fuck, all this stuff. Like, I am surprised throughout this movie that he did not kill himself. Honestly, right? Because I I mean, it's just like he beat himself up so much over that, which, I mean,
yeah.
And he did have to interact with her again.
Right. Well, it's like he got all the bad parts of cheating.
Yeah.
Because he knows people saw him out with her and went to her apartment. And it's like, again, like that public perception.
Yeah.
And now he's like done something sexual with her, but he didn't actually have sex with her and he embarrassed himself. So now, but like from the outside, it looks like, oh, they, you know, he had an affair with her. Like, which, you know, it depends on where your line is of cheating, but they didn't actually have sex.
Right.
So, but yeah, that plays into, you know, the whole like, it doesn't matter if it's real or not if everybody believes it is.
Right.
Because everybody like starts to associate him with the dreams that they're having and he becomes an outcast.
Right.
And he becomes the thing that everyone's saying he is, even though he isn't in the beginning. And it just like manifests itself into reality.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we skipped the part. Eventually, after he's in everybody's dreams for not doing anything, then he turns into like a violent serial killer in everyone's dreams, and they start calling him Freddy Krueger.
And I'm guessing that's like a result of his internal anger. And later they say, you know, that everyone is interconnected, la-di-di-da, because otherwise, how, well, I mean, you have to suspend disbelief, like, this could happen, you know, but, Well,
I do think it could happen.
Yeah.
Absolutely. The problem is, like, you still want to know how it happened in the first place.
Right.
Because there isn't like a real reason at first why everyone's dreaming about him. It's like an ex-girlfriend, he runs into her and she says, I've been dreaming about you. And then his colleagues call him and say, oh, we all had dinner last night and we're all having dreams about you. That's weird. It would be nice if we knew why.
Why?
Was it just a coincidence? Was he like Freddy Krueger and he can go in people's dreams? Like, even if they had given me an explanation like that, I would have liked something to explain it. But I think once you get into the part where it's like something's gone viral and everybody starts talking about it, then absolutely people are going to start dreaming about him.
Woo-hoo! Coffee break! Let's talk about our beans.
Hey Bean Flickers, have you followed us yet? We are on Instagram and Facebook at Flickin' Beans Pod. Make sure you like and subscribe and leave us a review.
Well, and plus, like, if you're dreaming about this guy, just like the girl.
Yeah.
Molly, was that her name? Molly. I just remember his wife going, who's Molly?
Molly?
She's left you all these messages or whatever. But when you sort of, what's the word? When you project.
Yeah.
You project onto somebody who you think they are. Mm-hmm. And... yeah, and then for him to just turn on the dime like that, where it's disturbing.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever had a dream where you wake up and you think it was real? Mm-hmm. Like, you dream about a fight with your spouse.
Yeah.
Or, you know, you said this to me, and then you realize it wasn't even, like, it didn't actually happen. You wake up angry in the middle of the night, and you're like, you suck.
Yeah.
But, you know, they're just sleeping.
I feel like everybody has had... you know, one of those where your significant other does something in your dream that makes you mad or you have a fight or whatever. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. As far as like the energy of all those kids getting together who had the traumatic dream experiences, do you think because the collective was dreaming these things that the dreams were worse?
Yes.
All their energy feeding into that negative whatever.
Yeah, I think so because, I feel like you get that energy gives it more weight.
Yeah,
if there's a lot of people.
They couldn't even be in the same room with them.
Yeah.
Exposure therapy.
It makes me think of times... well, pretty much just one in particular, but times that you've maybe been in a room with a real monster and you didn't know it. Ooh. You know, you found out that like, like there's people, like I had a teacher that ended up coming out that he was molesting kids.
Oh yeah.
You know, another friend of my parents was, murdered his wife. Anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
And you're like, I've been around this person that's like so capable of doing a real thing like that. And
aren't we all?
Yeah, maybe. I think it's inside of us. That's why it gets put in movies so much.
Right.
Because that's all, part of the human condition is that we're violent.
And they always make it sound like there's just one trigger that sets you in motion, but that's not true. But I don't when he has the dream himself of himself hurting himself.
Yeah.
That's not right grammar. Neither was that. Okay, so he has the dream where literally he's shooting arrows at himself. Mm-hmm. And then he has that whole pity party online.
Oh, gosh.
Where he posts this and he's crying. He's like, it happened to me too. Yeah. I'm the victim.
I think that was the straw that broke the camel's back with his wife.
I think you're right.
She's like, she tells him it's embarrassing to be married to you right now.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, they're divorced.
And it's, I
get that.
I get that too. She was a strong, sweet wife to him.
Yeah.
He was lucky to have her.
Yeah, I felt bad for her throughout this, but I also felt like I'm interested to hear that you think that she was like saying not to do things because she knew him. Because I see that now, but at the time when in the movie, I was kind of like, she doesn't believe in him either.
Could be
because she was a lot of like,
maybe she doesn't believe in him.
She was questioning him a lot, which he's never proven otherwise that
when he goes to visit the colleague.
Yeah.
When he has the intent of recording her at the table in the restaurant, admitting that she stole his research.
Right.
And the wife was like, you should record it. Which he did, but then he really was embarrassed again.
Yeah.
Because she had him by the balls.
Yeah.
He had no leg to stand on.
Yeah.
And he's listening to that recording and then he lies to his wife and says he didn't.
Yep.
Yeah,
he doesn't treat her well in this.
Is this a midlife crisis or is it a male fragility problem?
I think those are interconnected for sure. For sure.
And an intestinal gas problem.
It's healthy.
I don't know that I've ever farted twice during sex.
I could not remember a time.
4 times, yes, but not. Kidding, not kidding.
Sounds happen.
But
I've never.
Yeah, gross.
I don't know what it's like to be a guy, obviously, but
well, you're terrified of being laughed at.
Yeah,
that's what it means to be a man.
I guess so.
Ooh. I'm gonna get called out here, but we can throw in here some cancel culture.
Oh, absolutely.
Which I was like, oh yeah, we used to call it boycotting, right? But cancel culture, does it make you? It's more like directed at people, but they do use it with companies and stuff too. But yeah, to be riding high and then suddenly say something that people find offensive and then you're just done.
Yeah, or they go back and read a tweet that you wrote 20 years ago.
Right.
And, Twitter didn't even exist 20 years ago. But still, 10, 15 years ago.
I think we talked about this in another episode.
That seems unfair. Then they're just like a terrible person and they can never work again.
Yeah.
Is what people want, which is so ridiculous. Like, people should be held accountable for their words. That's fine. But like the whole, like, they shouldn't be allowed to work. They shouldn't be basically allowed to exist online anymore just because you didn't like something they said. I don't like that.
Well, remember when we were talking about like Michael Jackson, for example, and whether we could really separate the accusations of crimes against the person's talent.
Yeah.
And like people can be both things, both a monster and amazing.
Yeah.
Which is so weird.
Well, and everybody has said something that they shouldn't have.
Right.
Or done something that they shouldn't have, because we're human.
Right.
So it's like, where's the grace there? You know, I don't know.
I'm the worst.
I don't like it. I know.
I'm just glad my friends actually like me, because I should have been canceled long ago.
Same.
Jeez.
And I also, like, one of the funniest things in life to me is when I do say something that's real off. And then nobody laughs, then I think it's extra funny.
They don't laugh because they're like, oh my God, did she really mean that?
Yeah, exactly. And I never do. And, if you really know me, but I feel like I'm, if our phones are listening to us, the things that I sometimes say just around my pets and husband.
Oh God, for real.
They understand me, but I could totally be canceled. But I also have the understanding that I shouldn't tweet that.
Yeah.
That I shouldn't rant in a TikTok about that joke, because people won't get it. And
I know that too, except maybe after 9 p.m. Then I forget that I shouldn't get my phone out at all.
Yeah.
Note to self. Just lock it up. Shut it down. Bad idea.
Yeah.
Man, so yeah, I thought this movie was crazy. And it goes further.
Yeah.
With in a direction I did not expect, so that it wasn't the same company, thoughts. It was somebody else. But whatever there was a technological, almost like Black Mirror, aspect toward the end where it was, the gist of the company was to try to introduce products into people's dreams using Nicolas Cage's character.
Yeah.
Like, let's show him with a Sprite. Mm-hmm. Sprite. Yeah. Sprite's really on board with this. Which, so that's, I get that. That's what people do, is make money off of other people. Mm-hmm. And then there was the whole segment of dreamfluencers. Yes. And that scene is worth it just for the denim alone. They were just decked out. The girl with the straggly denim, like Cousin It almost. Yeah. I don't even know. But that was kind of cute. But I mean, that's what's happening now.
Yeah.
So the gist was the dreamfluencers would pop into people's dreams, selling them a song, a product, a concept, whatever. And, people would wear the wrist. It was like a wristband that they would wear when they slept. Nicolas Cage buys one.
I think that they give him a settlement. Because later when he's talking to his wife, is it like Neuro, the name of the company or something like Nurio? He says, after the Nurio settlement and rights from my book or whatever, I'll be fine financially.
Okay.
So either he sued him, he got some money, or he has a deal with them because he's the reason the company exists.
He did write the book about in Nightmare Man, which wasn't supposed to be, it was translated poorly.
In French, the French.
I am your nightmare. That's so great. That is great. It was supposed to be called Dream Scenario.
He said the name of the movie. I love that.
I do too, actually.
That's a Family Guy bit.
Is it?
Yeah. Peter, they go to a movie and he says, I love it when they say the name of the movie during the thing before the movie starts, and then later they say it and he goes, he said it. So now whenever that happens, that's Joel and I say, he said it.
I'm going to do that. That's funny. Then he's missing his wife.
Yeah.
He's
trying to get into his wife's dreams.
Yeah.
He's trying to remind her that they love each other.
Yeah.
Which is really sad.
Yeah. But he asked her when they were still together whether she saw him, or she was like, why do I not see you in my dreams? Why do you think that is? Mm-hmm. So who knows?
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
I don't know. Huh. I often dream about my significant others.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't know if I do.
Yeah, there's a lot of times that they're there, at least.
Doing nothing or doing something.
Yeah, mostly nothing.
Yeah.
They are Paul Matthews.
Yeah.
I don't know. Sometimes they're involved, sometimes they're not. But yeah.
But when I don't know if I do. It's been a minute since I've had a dream that's worth talking about.
Yeah. I dream a lot, but then I pretty much forget it right away.
Yeah.
But I have nightmares a lot.
Oh, yeah.
And so when they had the thing and they said, we have a no nightmare guarantee, I was like, oh, that'd be kind of cool to be able to like, no, I'm not going to have a nightmare.
Yeah.
That might be a reason I would opt into this. But I had a little bit of trouble understanding why anyone would want to wear the wristband.
But they to get into somebody's dreams.
Yeah, I guess that like you can use the wristband to travel in your dreams. That's the appeal of it. Okay. Otherwise, it's just like, why are you letting people advertise to you while you sleep?
Oh yeah.
So I'm not.
I think it was a double-edged sword.
Yeah,
kind of like when you opt for the free streaming.
Yeah,
and you get commercials. That's me.
Yeah,
you got to take the one with the other.
Yeah.
Huh. And did you when the wife said that the Halloween costume of the David Byrne in the big suit coat was her like dream fantasy?
Yeah.
Did you see any similarities between that giant coat and the giant coat that he already wore?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, wasn't there like or am I mixing this up with someone else? A scene in the beginning where they're wearing... that might have been... I think I'm mixing that up with somewhere else. I think I watched something else recently where they had a moment of wearing those big jackets, but I think it's something else.
Yeah, I was just like... I mean, for the parka bothered me the entire time.
Yeah, I hated that he was wearing it inside the bar. It's like, aren't you hot?
No, he never wanted to take that off. It was insulating. It kept him safe, I guess. I don't know. And warm.
Yeah.
Safe and warm. Yeah, I thought that was really weird. But I didn't see much difference in how big he was in that comically oversized suit versus him in that huge parka.
Yeah.
I was like, what's the difference? He's walking around the same. But he did something.
Yeah.
And he saves her in the dream and they walk off hand in hand.
Yeah.
But the movie ends so weird with just, didn't it end with him basically saying, I wish this were real?
Yeah. And then he floats away and that's the end.
Yeah.
Or she floats away.
He does, I think. He does.
Yeah. There's a breeze and his coat catches it.
Yeah.
That's not really what happens. He just starts floating for some reason.
It's a giant
That's a thing
kite.
that they do a lot in the dreams. The stuff is floating, like the leaves going up backwards was something they did in multiple dreams.
What do you think that is about?
I don't know. Maybe just to like help you understand what's real and what's not, because it's a little bit confusing in parts. You're like, wait, is this a dream or not?
When he shows up at the girl's house right after he gets so angry. Yeah. And I thought that was real. Yeah. I thought he was killing that girl to take it out on Xanthopy.
Yeah. Yeah, that sequence especially, you're like, oh wait, what's happening? Yeah. But then it goes into a sequence of like lots of him murdering people in dreams. So you're like, oh, this has to be dreams then.
Well, the other thing is, when you dream, you don't see yourself. Right. You see through your eyes. I think your
some
mind's
people do,
eye.
though.
You see yourself in like you're outside of your body.
I don't, but I think some people do dream that way. Huh. I'm always like first person perspective.
Do you ever dream about the same place?
Yeah.
And is it a place you've ever been?
No.
Yeah. Is that weird?
Yeah, I've recently like had a stream of dreams where I'm on a college campus that I didn't go to. And I need to get back to my apartment and clear it out, but like stuff keeps stopping me, or like the elevator breaks and like all this stuff, and I'm just like wandering this campus, and it's a dream I've had a lot of times, and the campus is pretty much the same every time. It's weird.
Isn't that strange?
Yeah.
Is that an alternate universe dream?
Could be. Maybe I'm inceptioning something.
A dream within a dream within a dream within a dream. Yeah, I dream about the same like interiors. dream a lot about having to, you said clear out your stuff. And I was like, oh, I have a lot of those dreams.
Yeah.
I have a lot of dreams where I'm trying to find something that I need. Actually, come to think of it, the last dream that I had, my phone was MIA.
Yeah.
That was a nightmare dream. Just trying to, and I'm digging, trying to find it. And it's quite upsetting. I mean, and it's not that it's a phone, it's just that it's a part of me.
Yeah.
Oh. Oh, I'm analyzing my own psyche.
We're really going deep in this
deep dive
today, but my dreams are almost exclusively like I'm trying to get somewhere and I can't, or I'm trying to find something and I can't.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I dream about with different scenarios around it. But.
It's frustration.
Yeah.
I wonder why. It's like your brain can't put it together or something.
Yeah.
All the events of the day. I don't know.
It's stacking them up in my hoarding dreams.
Yeah. Dreams of hoarding. I wouldn't. Yeah. It's kind of like dreams of hoarding.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm forever trying to, find clothes in my dream. And I'm not like a messy clothes person, but in my dream I am.
I am a messy person, so it's probably like my subconscious being like, clean up your act.
Maybe.
You need
or
to
just
purge.
Maybe like you, there's too much. Whatever.
There's too much.
There's too much going on. What was I going to say about...
I have a couple fun facts.
Give me a fun fact.
So, Nicolas Cage designed his own hairdo, which apparently is something he does in every movie.
Are you kidding?
According to IMDb, yeah.
I got to think about other hairdos he's had.
Yeah. I'm thinking that maybe he actually like shaved his head because I don't think he's bald in real life.
Oh, that had to be like a...
Or you think it was a bald cap?
Bald cap.
Perhaps.
Yeah.
So in the beginning, the dinner scene, and they're talking about dreaming about Paul Matthews, which is Nicolas Cage, and they keep saying he looks like Sidney, which is a guy sitting at their dinner table.
Yeah.
That's Nicolas Cage's brother in real life.
I love it.
Yeah,
because he does.
He does look like him.
He does look like him.
That's his brother. So
no wonder.
That's I thought that was cute.
He kind of looks like you.
Yeah, he actually kind of looks like you. Yeah. So Nicolas Cage's brother makes a cameo in this.
That's nice. Is he an actor?
I don't know.
Huh. Is he named Cage?
No. His name is Mark Coppola.
Oh, that's true. I forget that stars change their names.
Yeah, Cage is not his real name.
Of course it isn't. That's a great name.
Yeah.
I did spend some time reading people's reviews on IMDb, and they always crack me up. None of them need to be read on this episode, but it's just like people really will go to great lengths to be heard.
Yes.
When no one cares.
Yes, just like this movie.
Yes. Well, it's like, and I know people like this, people who will review a product. I don't fucking care. I mean, do you review a product?
Not often.
Especially if you're upset about it.
Yeah.
Yeah?
I feel like I have written a review here or there, but it's not really something. I think I've only written positive reviews. If I want to...
don't think I've really...
Speaking of reviews... If anybody's out there, go out and review Flickin' Beans. You can do it on Spotify and Apple Podcasts for sure.
Good one.
We'd love it if you do 5 stars, but honestly, any attention is good attention. So if you hate us, go and review us too.
Yeah.
It'll still get...
and tell your friends.
And tell your friends.
Tell your friends not to hate us. Shout out to our best friend, Alyssa. She does the work.
She's out there on the ground.
Awesome.
She's our boots on the ground.
Boots on the ground.
Posts in Reddit.
I love it. She is the best. We didn't get into the fact that he was an evolutionary biologist.
Right.
And they were trying to bring an analogy in about zebras.
Yeah, he talked about that a lot.
Yeah, zebras, that their stripes had to do with blending in with the herd.
Right, not the environment.
And not as an individual, but just blending in with the herd. And I felt like there was something along with that.
Once he's like, and they stand faces in towards each other, because if your head is pointing out, it's more obvious than if your head is in towards the middle.
That's weird.
If you're putting your neck out,
right,
so to speak,
which ended up happening to him. He blended in with the herd, and then once he is out and viewed on, once he goes viral, then basically he's slaughtered, just like a zebra.
Yeah.
So
lots of symbolism.
Maybe too much.
Yeah, it's layered, but it's pretty obvious, most of it.
And just honestly, the character that he portrays, the Paul Matthews, thanks for reminding me what his name was in the movie. It's wild. Yeah. It wasn't what I expected from Nicolas Cage.
True.
It wasn't enjoyable to see him in that role.
Yeah.
It was uncomfortable.
It's very uncomfortable. The whole thing just makes you kind of have the ick.
Yeah.
And
very cringy.
The worst cringy, well, there's lots of cringy things. There's cringy things for his like demeanor and embarrassment.
Yeah.
But the like when he at the end slams that lady's fingers in the door.
Yes.
Oh, that's like one of my biggest like things that like nails on a chalkboard kind of thing. That was terrible. But I think probably because I think everyone knows what that feels like.
Yeah.
When you've like slammed your finger in a door and he like gets her good.
Don't her fingers actually fall off?
I think like, she loses one.
Snapped off in the door. So yeah, that was probably the worst. That just nailed his coffin shut. Right. Yeah.
There's no coming back from that.
No, that entire auditorium full of people basically already think he's a murderer.
Right.
At least in their dreams. And then this violent, traumatic, there's no, it was an accident. Because it kind of wasn't.
Yeah.
His anger just precluded his thought process or whatever.
He wasn't being careful.
And he wasn't being considerate. The fact that he felt like he had to be their first daughter, his daughter is who he should have been thinking of.
Yeah.
Not himself.
Right.
That poor child, everybody in school is probably bullying her now because of her dad.
Right. And her older daughter at one point, after he puts out that cringy video, she's like, oh, well, I guess I'm going to have to kill myself.
Right.
And you're like, that's a joke she's making, but I bet she feels that way. It's true.
That's a joke, but it's not a joke when you're in high school.
Yeah.
And this shit happens. This is why if there was social media when I was in high school, I probably wouldn't be here today.
Yeah.
It's that bad.
It really, I feel for people that have especially young girls. Although I think, it's bad from all angles, but I just think the like body and visual things that girls have to deal with now.
Yeah.
It's tough.
Yeah, I literally saw a Dove commercial right before I left, which was like 43% of young girls quit sports by age 14. And it's because of body issues. I don't know. People just shouldn't pick on other people. And when I was young, it was you get picked on in person or people talk about you behind your back.
Yeah.
But now, and the stuff that they said then seemed horrible, but the stuff they can say now with anonymity, you got this like protective veil of, I'm not really there in person or whatever. I don't know. It's terrible.
Yeah, it's tough. And like, as a parent, there's very little control you can have over that. I mean, we've had conversations with like our bandmate who has teenage girls now.
Yeah.
And how like you can say they can't have TikTok or whatever, but they'll just make a different email and they'll change their name and you won't know they have it.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And you're like, yeah, I guess you can't, unless you're going to just cut them off from the internet completely, which you can't do because they use it for school.
And kids are not going to tell you if they're being bothered. No. They're going to try to handle it the same way that it's been thrown at them. So
right. That's it's very scary.
Makes me glad I'm not a parent. Honestly.
Yeah.
It's rough. Shit. Nicolas Cage. What's our next week's topic?
I think we should do cryptids. And you have a movie already in there, and I picked one. So
did I put Harry and the Hendersons?
Yes.
Right. Okay. Have you seen it?
No.
Oh God.
All right. Maybe I have, but
I think it's John Lithgow as the dad. It's been decades since I've seen it, but it's a Bigfoot.
If I've seen it, I was young and it's been a long time.
Oh, it's adorable from what I remember. Okay.
And I picked the Mothman prophecies.
Oh, okay. Yeah. We got a lighthearted and we got a scary.
Yeah.
Okay. Have I seen Mothman? Is it Richard Gere?
Yes.
Okay. Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
Okay.
I actually haven't seen it, but I love cryptids. I listen to cryptid podcasts. Shout out to Out There Cryptid, I think is what it's called. That's my favorite one now.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. It's just one little guy. I don't know if he's little. He just sounds young. And he does a deep dive into different cryptids, and it's just, he does a good job.
This will be fun.
Yeah.
Okay. I can't wait. Everybody loves Flickin' Beans.
Everybody loves it. Love you. Bye.
Bye.